Hey everyone, welcome back to Coding with ChatGPT live sessions. On today's menu, we have a treat for all the web enthusiasts out there. We are crafting a minimalistic text editor using React and Tailwind CSS. And here is twist, we will be learning on ChatGPT for every single step. This promises to be an unscripted, genuine coding journey where the elegance of React meets the styling magic of Tailwind and all under the watchful guidance of ChatGPT. So let's get this session underway. All right, this is my React.js Hello World application running in my browser where I already have configured my Tailwind CSS that is actively connected with it. So let's go to our ChatGPT. I am currently using the Prompt Perfect plugin. You may use any other one. So let's write our initial prompt. Create a text editor using React and Tailwind CSS, a minimal text editor with a basic text formatting options like bold, italic, underline, etc. Make sure that code is 100% completed without skipping anything. Make sure to create a highly user-friendly UI. Make sure that UI is extremely modern, attractive, and production grade. Okay. So if I press enter, it will use this plugin to optimize my prompt, and then it will start generating the result with the help of ChatGPT 4. It did not use that plugin. So we have to tell it following prompt. Okay, now it has forwarded all of my prompt to the prompt perfect, and it has optimized my prompt with the text. Please develop a text editor using Tailwind, React and Tailwind. The text editor should be minimalistic and include basic text formatting options such as bold, italic, and underline. It is essential that the code for the text editor is fully completed without any omission. Additionally, prioritize the creating highly user-friendly interface that is modern, attractive, and suitable for production use. Okay, so now let's use this prompt. Uh, it did not include the Tailwind CSS, so maybe we need to run this prompt again. So I will open a new chat and let's paste that one here. And I'm going to use the default ChatGPT mode because this time we don't want to use any plugin. Okay, first of all, we need to create this component text editor, and we have to create in the source directory. Now let's copy paste this code once it is completed. And now copy this code for the app.js and replace everything. Okay, now it has created this editor, and let's try to write something. Something is wrong with that. When I type something, it types in a different direction. For example, ABC, it typed in the reverse direction. So let's get help from ChatGPT about that. Something is wrong. If I type something, for example, ABC, it typed this in the editor. Why is that? Please fix it. Okay, the issue is because of this line on input set value this. When we set value using dangerously set inner HTML, it triggers another input event and flips the character since the cursor position is maintained at the beginning. To solve that, let's use the different approach. Instead of updating the value state on each input, we will update it only when formatting actions are performed. So we will use ref to get the current content of the div and then update the value. So here is the corrected version. Okay, let's try it. All right, now let's type something. Hello world. Yeah, now it looks fine. ABC XYZ. Let me make it bold. Okay, we have made it bold, and now let's use underline here. Once underline is activated, I think we cannot undo that. Yeah, now we can fix it. Okay, now let me make it italic as well. Okay, yeah, it looks like it is working. So we may want to improve it. So if I click on any part of the word, so it should activate the relevant button. So for example, this is bold. If I click on that, then the button bold should be activated. So let's convey this to ChatGPT. Good. Now if I click any part of my text, it should activate all of the action buttons that are being used on that part. For example, if I clicked on the bold text, then it should activate the bold button. And this way user will see visually see that which button is which action was used here. So let's see how it will improve it. So to achieve this functionality, we need to utilize document query command state method, which can check the state of the provided command for the current selection. The method returns a boolean indicating whether the command is active or not. We will enhance our text editor component, check the state of each command, bold, italic, and underline when text within the editor is selected or clicked. Update the styling of each button based on the text state. Okay, let's see how it works. Okay, let's type something. Hello ABC XYZ. I think. Okay. Now I'm going to make it bold. Yes. If I click on that, it will make the bold button active. If I make it italic, then yes, that is also working. So it is working, but I want to improve another thing. So for example, I made this one bold. It has become bold, but the cursor has gone to the first position. That is not the right thing, I guess. So for example, right now I have selected this text, and if I make it bold, then cursor goes to the start. That should be improved. So let's ask ChatGPT to do that. It is working great, but I need to improve this. If, for example, if I select a text and click on the any action button, then it uh, moves the cursor in the beginning, and hence the clicked action button is not activated. So update it in such a way that if we click on any action button, then cursor don't go to the beginning and the clicked action button would stay active. So let's see what it does with that. To maintain the cursor position after applying the format, we can use the selection API. Here is the plan. Before applying the format, save the current selection. Okay, apply the format and restore the saved selection. Okay, nice. So let's update our apply format function. And by saving and restoring the selection, the cursor should stay in the same position after applying the format, and the clicked action button will stay active. And this is the updated file. So let's try it. Actually, it is still writing, so let's wait for it. Okay, now let's copy the code and replace it. So let's try it again. Hello world, ABC, XYZ. Let me copy paste this several times. Okay. Now I'm going to make this bold. This time it again took the cursor to the beginning. So that is still not fixed. Okay, the problem you are encountering is common issue with the content editable and execute command API. So for more bulletproof solution, we will use document.create range and selection API for more explicitly. Here is how you can do that. Before executing command, save the current selection. After executing the command, restore the selection. Okay. So let's update the apply format function. This is the apply format function, and use the latest one. Let me reload it. No, that still did not fix the problem. So let's try one last time. If it does, then great. Otherwise, we will just leave it. So upon further reflection, using content editable property of a div along with the execute command can be problematic when trying to maintain cursor position, especially across different browsers. An alternative solution is to use a dedicated rich text editor library for React, such as draft.js by Facebook. Okay, nice. Let's just look at that. Okay. So, okay, that looks very neat and decent. Okay, great. However, if you would like to continue with the current implementation, let's try a different approach using mutation observer. This will allow us to detect when the content of our editor changes and attempt to restore the selection after mutations. Here is how we can do it. Initialize a mutation observer in a use effect to observe the changes in our editor. When applying a format, we save the current selection, allow mutations to occur from execute command, then restore the saved selection. Okay, here is the adjusted code. Okay, let's copy paste this part and manually replace it here. Okay, delete everything up to here. Now refresh it and let's try. It is still not working. So now we should leave it. We should not spend more time on that. Okay, you can see now that this word has multiple actions applied on it. So now multiple buttons are activated. So that is great. One last thing that I want to implement is that if I copy paste it several times, the input text area does not grow itself. So we have to fix that as well. Uh, if I add text more than uh, available height of text area, and text overflows the text area. So make sure to increase the text area height if we add more text. So let's see. So to allow a content editable div to expand based on its content, we need to modify its styles to handle overflow. One simple way to achieve this by setting the minimum height instead of fixed height. So the div will grow as content is added. However, if you would like a maximum height beyond which the content becomes scrollable, you can set a max height overflow auto. Let's modify the styles for the div in the text editor.js. So let's try that. I'm going to copy this, go to the text editor, and this is the div that we want to update. And now let's see if it is working. Yes, every time if you type something, it will keep growing automatically. That is now very nice. At last, I can see that there is a function that looks like is deprecated. As you can see that the declaration was marked deprecated here. So we need to update it with the help of ChatGPT. So let's go back to the ChatGPT and tell it about it. I am getting this message in VS Code editor. So it's saying that the method is indeed deprecated and might not be supported in the future versions of web browsers. So while it is still supported in many modern browsers, it is recommended to look for alternative when building new applications or features. For your use case of a simple rich text editor library like Draft.js by Facebook or Quill would be more robust solution. Both libraries provide extensive app functionality for building rich text editors. However, transitioning to one of these libraries would involve rewriting most of our text editor component. And if you are open to it, I can provide guidance on setting up the basic editor with one of these libraries. If you wish to continue with the current approach without deprecated warning, you can suppress the warning by using this above line that causes the warning. But do note that this is a temporary fix, and long-term recommendation is to move away from the deprecated API. We don't want to suppress it. Also, we don't want to use any third party fix in existing code. So let's see if it is able to fix it or not. Okay. When formatting button is clicked, get the current selection using the selection API, wrap the selected text in the appropriate HTML tag, insert the wrap text back into the content editable div. Okay, let's see how it is working. Let's copy paste the apply format function. Okay. Now let's test it. Okay. Yes, it is still working. So that is perfect now. Now let's quickly look at the code that it has generated, then we will finish this video. So we have in the app.js, we have simple styling on our divs, and we have the text editor component that is created here. And here we have two states. One is value of the editor, and second one is the active commands. So we have three active options for the active command. One is bold, italic, underline. The default values are false. And then we are creating a use reference, text area reference, and we are using this lifecycle hook. So this would be this logic would be executed every time it detects any change in any state. So here we are creating an observer by using mutation observer, and we are calling our function check command states in that function, and then we are checking if text area reference is current, then call this observe function from that observer and pass it the current text area reference with these values: child is true, character data true, subtree true. To be honest, I am not familiar with this code. I don't know what does it do, but I'm just reading it so that you can just see what we have made. So observer.disconnect, it will, so this is a cleanup callback function that we're returning to this lifecycle method. So whenever this component is unmounted from the DOM, this function would be executed and it will disconnect the observer. Then we have the apply format function that has the selection that we are getting from the window, and we are checking if the range count is false, then return, and then we are saving the tag. If it is bold, then use the B tag. If italic, use I tag. If it is underlined, then use the U tag. And we are saving the range by using the selection.get range content range.extract contents. We are extracting the content from the range that we have selected, and then we are getting the wrapper element, and in that, so we created our an element or tag by using the string that we have in the tag. That is one we are considering as a wrapper, and then we are appending the content that we have from the selection, and then we are inserting in the node by using the range, and we're passing it the wrapper DOM element, and then we are updating the value of the text editor by giving it the latest value from the text area ref .current.inner HTML. Then we are calling the function check command states, and here we have the check command states function that is calling another function set active commands, and we are giving it default values. So default value for the bold is document.query command state bold, italic, and underline. So this is basically to, I think, to highlight the buttons. So but anyway, but there is a deprecation message that we want to get help from the ChatGPT. So let me copy this message and go back to the ChatGPT. Let's see if it is possible to fix this problem for ChatGPT. If you want to avoid this deprecated, you will need to find an alternative approach to determine which formatting is active for the current selection. The simplest solution would be to check if current selection's parent or ancestors are of a specific tag B, I, or U. Here is how you can modify the check command states function. So here it is getting the selection, and here it is getting the selection anchor node, and it is checking that if a current node type is equal to 3, then node.parent node is, then they use this one, otherwise use this one. And here we are setting all of the values for the states to false, and here we are checking that if tag name is current node tag name is B, then use the value bold to true, and same for others. And current node is equal to current node.parent node. That's it. Let's replace that. and try one last time. Perfect. So everything is still working. So here we have the HTML, we have a button. We have multiple buttons, bold, italic, and underline. And on click on any of these buttons, we are calling a function apply format, and we are passing the text, bold, italic, and underline. And then at the end, if user, so this is the editable div where on click we are calling a function check command state. So for example, if you click here, it will check the command state. If the bold is there, then it will activate the bold action button. So that's it. A sleek functional text editor built with the synergy of React, Tailwind CSS, and ChatGPT. I hope that this session shed light on the power of combining these tools and the surprises that can come out of such collaborations. If you have enjoyed this session and wish to embark on more coding adventures with us, hit that like button and subscribe. Until our next React Tailwind venture, keep exploring and happy coding.